As I look back over the many years that I've lived, loved, and been a Kansas Citian, I think about all the wonderful people that I've met, all of the things we've endured together since the Hyatt Skywalk's collapse, the flood of 1993, and the uncertainty and chaos that ensued after the pandemic of COVID. But when you really start to think about it, what do we stand for? What does our city believe together? What are we doing right now that's going to make our children and our grandchildren's lives better? With our homicide rate out of control and rising every year, it seems like we want to ignore that problem. A problem that is not an African American problem or Caucasian problem. It's a Kansas City problem. What are we going to do about our infrastructure? We have one of the worst water systems in the United States. What are we going to do to educate our children, not only through universities, but through trades? It seems America has stopped learning what made it great in the first place. We used to make things. We still do, but we can do more. Are we protecting those who need protection? I learned early on in life never to judge anyone by the job that they do or the color of their skin. The brightest person I have ever met and have the utmost respect for was a bus driver named Joe. During the rationing of World War II, Joe made effectively a motorcycle from washing machine parts that got 100 miles to the gallon. Imagine that. It was featured in the Kansas City Star. That man named Joe was my grandfather. And my grandpa, Joe Brennan, and his wife Thelma, my dear and sweet grandma, were hardworking people. She was a licensed practical nurse, and when my mother, a single mother, was attending nursing school, my grandfather worked overnights so that she could drive his car to school. Many families sacrifice like that so their children can have a better life. I believe in bringing that same mentality to the office that I'm seeking. So much of what politics has become is atrocious. The two-party system has become divisive and hated and hateful. Labeling of people Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, left, right, centrist, it loses in the shuffle what we do agree on and the very real problems that we can address and aren't. Lobbyists control Congress. There's no doubt about it. You're constantly running for re-election in a 2-year cycle. When people came to me and said, Matt, we'd like you to run for this office, I thought long and hard about it. Because as a person and as a politician, I have a great deal of respect for my opponent. And why I'm running against him is because that's exactly the problem. Congress has issues, but people love their congressperson. It's time we shock the system. You have to understand something about me. I grew up in a world where we didn't say, I can't. And when someone says, I can't win, they're right. I can't win. We can win. This election is not about a person. It's about bringing people together to solve problems and to shock the system, to bring attention that people can win elections, building grassroots amongst diverse cultures. From the farms of Saline, Ray, and Cass County to the suburbs and inner city of Kansas City, reaching across bridges, bridging gaps, dialogues beginning to address the murder rate, the lack of employment opportunity, the lack of skills trades, the lack of cohesiveness. It's time, Kansas City. It's time that the 5th District, we stand for something, and that we stand together. Enough Democrat, Republican nitpicking and fighting. It's time we have leaders, not politicians. Politicians take polls. Leaders set forth ideals and explain how we get to that goal. That's why I'm running for this office. not for me, but for you and your children. And unlike most quote-unquote politicians, the most important part of my job, as I see it, is listening. Don't count on me spending a lot of time in Washington, D.C. Every opportunity I have to be in my district will be from my district. That's the problem. D.C. is captured. All of these representatives, 100 in the Senate, 435 in the House. I believe that Congress should vote from their district, stay in their district, stay accessible. That way, the people that they are closest to are actually the people that they represent. You see, D.C. was founded back when it was a horseback ride away from different people's constituents. Now it's a lot farther to D.C., and it's become even farther. Every day, the partisan politics and lobbyists keeps capturing the agenda and moving us in the wrong direction. Government was founded to protect the people, to make sure that in this republic you have your rights and that they are protected. Instead, it's become a sideshow that's used to divide us, to keep us from uniting and actually affecting real change. For example, why does 71 Highway have stoplights? Do you know how many people die or in car accidents because of it? Do you know the congestion that it causes? Kansas City is a vast, spread out city. One of the first things I will do is seek funding to change that, to put overpasses so that the trip downtown and out of town on 71 Highway is not treacherous and doesn't take any more lives of the people that live and commute in this community. It's time we have common sense like that. Now, I want to ask you, talk to me, tell me, what is it you believe? What does the 5th District stand for? And will you help me, Matt, take the 5th? Thank you for listening. The proceeding was not only approved by me, I just spoke it. I didn't have a script. I didn't have someone produce it for me. That's how I think, and that's why I'm running. Thank you.